Good evening, members of the town council. My name is Alan Dill, and I'm here today to strongly urge the council to reconsider the renewal of the Whitetail Inn and Suite hospitality license due to the reckless and destructive actions of its owner, Lynn Beckinsale, and the town of Lincoln's failure to act, which allowed this crisis to fester and grow worse over the year. On April 26, 2024, I showed the town council member the boulders and dirt Lynn Beckinsale placed on his property line. I told him these changes would cause devastating floods in the near future. He saw the problem firsthand and never followed up. 24, I met with a town code enforcement officer, explained my concerns. Instead of investigating, he dismissed me, saying a landowner can do whatever they want to with their property. That is false. Maine's alteration of surface water flow law clearly defines this as a nuisance and legally punishable offense. The town never spoke to Glenn Betancourt or attempted to intervene. They had the chance to stop this disaster before it happened, but instead they turned a blind eye and allowed it to unfold exactly as I predicted. Then when the July 10th, 11th, 2024 flood hit, exactly as I warned, I called the town code enforcement officer again, pleading for help, and said he angrily dismissed me, saying, Alan, everyone is flooded, before hanging up the phone, once again shutting down any attempt I made to be heard. After the first flood, I approached 4 of Glenn Betancourt's own workers while they were outside, explained the damage and showed them exactly why it had happened. They told me they would talk to Glenn, but I never heard back from him or any of his workers. I also wrote 2 letters to the editor of the Lincoln News about how Glenn Betancourt altered the flow of surface water on his property and the damage it had done to mine. The entire community became aware of the issue, yet still nothing was done. For more than a year, I've been left to suffer while those responsible, Glenn Betancourt and the officials who ignored my warning, have done nothing to fix this crisis. My family and I live with the constant fear of the next flood, knowing that each storm could bring more destruction, more loss, and more financial ruin. This is causing me daily mental anguish. Every single day, I wake up knowing that my home, my sanctuary, the place where I should feel safe, has been deliberately put in danger by one man's selfish choices and a town's refusal to intervene. I have watched the floodwaters consume my basement twice. I have been forced to repair my furnace only for it to be destroyed again, leaving my family in the cold. My house was heated only by space heaters from July 2024 until my furnace was repaired in January 2025. A brutal reality for my family and I during Lincoln's freezing winter months. Then in March 2025, my furnace was destroyed yet again by a flood, forcing me to rely on space heaters for a second time, sending my electric bill skyrocketing once again. I have suffered financial ruin because of these repeated floods. The cost has left me buried under expenses I never should have had to pay. I have fallen behind on critical bills. The financial strain has caused me to fall behind on my real estate taxes and my last 2 water and sewer bills, all because of money spent trying to keep my home livable. The electric company threatened to shut off my power because my heating costs spiraled out of control, forcing me into a repayment plan just to keep the lights on. My driveway has been destroyed twice, each time requiring repairs that I had to take on without any help from Glenn Betancourt or the town. A substantial amount of personal property was destroyed. Floodwaters ruined wooden cabinets, furniture, clothing, and countless belongings. Items are now gone forever. My home itself is deteriorating. Wood rot has set in. My back window is on the verge of collapse, and I may have major foundation damage, threatening the structural integrity of my house. After the first flood, I took proactive steps to protect my home. I purchased and placed timbers along my driveway and house to create a higher flood wall, and I dug into my lawn to improve drainage. But when the March 2025 flood hit, the water went over the top of my flood wall, proving that my personal efforts could not stop the flooding without intervention from the town. Between the repairs, heating costs, property losses, and overdue bills, I have been forced into a financial nightmare, all because one man altered his land without regard for the consequences. A business owner who willfully ignored the suffering of a neighbor and allowed flooding to destroy a family's home twice should not. Whitetail Inn & Suites operated under the leadership of someone who has demonstrated a pattern of cruelty, negligence, and reckless disregard for the community. If Glenn Betancourt is allowed to continue operating without accountability, this council sends a clear message that Lincoln tolerates property destruction, environmental harm, and the suffering of its residents. I urge the town council to investigate this issue immediately before renewing this license. I also call on the town to take swift action to enforce Maine's alteration of surface water flow law to prevent future destruction of my property and hold Glenn Betancourt accountable for what he has done. If nothing is done, even more catastrophic floods will continue to happen, and the damage, both physical and psychological, will only worsen. Thank you.
Council. Acting Chair. I usually, when I look at Mr. Dill's property, and I respect that business, but as longer for years, it went into wood lot. The first thing you need to do to be a good steward, you go in and talk to abutting landowners, you tell them what you're gonna do. I think what we need to do as a chair, as a council, is to see what we need to do as far as EPA. They've never returned my call to see what we can do to mitigate this problem, because I think there is a problem, because it's like a 2-foot elevation drop about 30 feet prior to, and it's allowing all the flow of the water to come towards Mr. Dill's property. So I think the town ought to work with EPA and see what we need to do, because do we want to have another house come back that we have to tear down and relocate a family? So I can't get behind this. I would like to, for the sake of Whitetail Land, but I think we need to nip this in the bud, because it's unfair to Mr. Dill what happened, and I just wish it didn't come to this. So
something that would be better served to be heard in court as part of the lawsuit or something? We're talking
You're
about.
asking me?
Yeah, I just wondered if you've heard of this before. I just looked this up online.
Of butters battling over land uses, yeah, that sort of thing's fairly common. And the one that can truly settle it in the end is a court, but no one has stepped up to take the effort and spend the money it would take to get to a court. As far as the EPA dealing with it, that's a federal agency. I highly doubt they're gonna come here and look at this anytime in the next 100 years. Our code enforcement officer has been there multiple times, and his assessment, as he has told me, is that the problem is not the abutter, that we do not have that sort of problem. Our police chief, because of things Mr. Dill said via email, went and spoke with him, hoping that we'd find at least a calmer moment. That may not have happened.
I just looked this up because I talked to Alan earlier. And it does.
There is a law, but it basically sets up, according to this, his category would be a private nuisance. And so the maximum fine would be $100, and remedies call for civil action, civil action for damages. Courts can then order abatement or as I said, in criminal penalties, that would be maximum of $100 for a nuisance. So it does sound like it means that it's got to be something that you end up going to an attorney for. I'm not sure what we can do. What are we allowed to do here?
I don't think we have an ordinance or something like that. I think it's going to be a court issue.
Anything else for open forum? No. Item 3A, public hearing, renewal special amusement permits. This motion moves to open the public hearing for the purpose of hearing oral and written comments on the proposed issuance of renewal special permits for the following businesses: Columbia Knights Association, Gather Brunch and Bar, Gilmore's Restaurant Lounge, Lincoln Stonehouse Club, Winter Tap House, and the Forest Park.
Steve, I'm going to need to recuse or not participate in some of these votes.
Okay, just let me know before each
All
one.
right, so this one, yeah.
Okay. We have a motion and second to open the public hearing. All those in favor? 6-0. 6:42. Do you have any comments on the special amusement permits? None. Item 3B, issuance of renewal special amusement permits. Just a motion move to issue renewal special amusement permits to the following businesses: Columbia Knights Association, Gather Brunch and Bar, Gilmore's Restaurant, Lincoln Snowhounds Pub, Lincoln Tap House, and the Forester Pub. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Okay. Item 4A, public hearing, renewal state liquor license, application, Gather Brunch and Bar. No, has to have a public hearing for 5-year ownership and over the first 5 years applying for the license. Suggest motion, move to open a public hearing for the purpose of hearing oral and written comments on the renewal state liquor license application for Gather Brunch and Bar.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor? 6-0. You're in at 6:42. Any comments or questions? Close the public hearing at 6:44. Item 4B, approval of renewal state liquor license application. Move to approve a renewal state liquor license application for Gather Brunch and Bar. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. Item 5A, renewal state liquor license application, Wingwire Restaurant. Suggested motion, move to open a public hearing for the purpose of hearing oral and written comments on a renewal state liquor license application submitted by Wingwire Restaurant. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? 6-0. We're in 6:44. Any comments on the liquor license for Wingwire? Okay, close the public hearing at 6:45. Item 5B, approve renewal state liquor license application. Suggested motion, move to approve the new state liquor license application submitted for Wingwire Restaurant.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. Item number 6, approval issuance of renewal pawnbroker license. Suggested motion, move to issue a renewal pawnbroker license to Main Street Trading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. Item 7, approval issuance of renewal blanket letters of approval. Suggested motion, move to issue renewal blanket letters of approval for games of chance, bingo, to the following businesses: Scarborough American Legion Post 77, Columbia Knights Association 5029.
Second.
Steve, I have to sustain from voting on this.
Okay.
Same.
The motion's been made, seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. 2 refuses. Item 8,
Oh, that's a problem. So do we. How many votes do you need?
4.
Was a quorum.
All right. If you, I hate to do it, but if you break it down, we can manage to pull this off.
Okay, so which ones do you need to?
I can't vote on the Knights of Columbus. Sheldon, yours is the Pearlboro American Legion. Yes.
Mine was a subdivision.
Item number 8, approval issuance of renewal victual licenses. Move to issue renewal victual licenses to the following businesses as listed. Pulling out Knights of Columbus, Carrboro, and Subway.
So.
Second.
I'll vote for it.
Hmm?
Another one here, so there. Oh, that was part of it. Yeah.
I pulled it. I pulled Subway.
Oh, okay.
I pulled those 3.
So I'm voting.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. We have a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules. Second.
We have a motion to approve. And cover.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to renew virtual licenses to the following businesses: Knights of Columbus and the American Legion. Any discussion? All those in favor? 4-0, 2 abstentions. We have another motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion has been made and seconded to suspend the rules. All those in favor? 0. We have a motion to approve the virtual licenses for Subway.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded to approve a virtual license to Subway. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Item 9, approve new virtual license, Wake Zone Energy. Suggested motion move to approve a new conditional virtual license for Wake Zone Energy owned by Jeremy and Angela Priest, formerly Links Energy and Nutrition.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. Item number 10, approve issuance of renewal innkeeper licenses. Suggested motion move to issue renewal innkeeper licenses to the following businesses: Briarwood Motor Inn, Eagle Lodge and Camps, Lincoln House Motel, and the Whitetail Inn and Suites.
I've got 10. How the rest of
What do we even need?
I know.
So moved. Second.
I do not, but.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion?
I just want to point out that I do hear what Alan's saying, but at this point in time right now, it is believed that we don't have a legal course of action to take here, that's on him. And for that reason, I can't support not giving a license to the Whitetail Inn.
Any other discussion? Mr. Chairman, I understand both sides of the issue here, but I think personally, I'd like to see the town probably try to foster some type of agreement between the two and see. There should have been some silt fence put up. There should have been some riprap. There should have been something to divert that water different than the way it ran down alongside the house. So I'd like to see the town do the due diligence and try to come up with some type of an arrangement between Whitetail and Mr. Dill, because that's just my belief. So I will be voting to issue the licenses primarily for the top 3. But I think the town should really do something into it, because it don't set well with me.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Gordon abstains. Item 11, approval of renewal billiards license. Move to approve the issuance of renewal billiards license to Lincoln Tap House. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. Item 12,